first say I'm not going to get all the names correct, so I think it's safe to say all protocols observed. So I don't want to miss out someone and say you did not greet this other person and you did not greet this one, or you did not recognize this particular title. So in order for me to play it safe, may I kindly say all protocol is observed so that all distinguished guests are also greeted in my speech. Thank you once again to CIGFARO for extending a hand to the National Treasury on this specific occasion, well, which is quite momentous. Nervous as I am, I've never been nervous at getting to the podium. I must say that I'm a dropout preacher, so I always welcome these opportunities. I always welcome these opportunities to actually stand in front of people with a microphone, knowing that I would have missed my Sunday benediction on a specific day. But today, looking at all of you, beautiful as you are, and also the event itself, it also gives me a bit of a few goosebumps along the way. But nonetheless, I've watched the Oscar Pistorius case on a number of occasions. One of the things that I'd picked up in that specific case was that Judge Masipa had attempted to deliver what is called a competent verdict. So I'm also going to try and deliver a competent verdict. I'm not going to go to the Senzo Meyiwa case because it's still ongoing. So I don't know if a competent verdict will be delivered on that one. But nonetheless, my story for today is to talk about the capacity building initiatives that National Treasury is rolling out to the three spheres of government, but zooming into local government specifically, and also in trying to align with the theme where we are talking of building a capable state and also ensuring that the people that are in this room can see a future beyond the internship program and also can see opportunities over and above what we are trying to do. By way of my little background, sorry, I didn't realize it's projecting already. By way of my little background, I come from the unit called Capacity Building within the National Treasury. My computer and my screen are not talking the same language immediately. Now, what has motivated the National Treasury to actually develop the internship program and other various programs is that around 2008, we had discovered that there's a national skills shortage in financial management, including both internal audit, risk management. And this then results in the two sectors competing for the same pool of people. Whether you go to the private sector, if you pick up the report from CIGFARO, it will tell you that there's few chartered accountants in this world. If you go to CIPA, they will tell you the same thing. There's few accountants in this world. You go to EMSA, which is a professional body that deals with risk, there's a few risk managers in this world. So that tells you that there's a limited pool of resources between both public sector and private sector. If you go to the government, you pick up the DPSA vacancy rate. You can see every week we're all advertising. That tells you that there's a limited pool of people. Then the second issue we discovered around the same period was that there's staff competence levels are inadequate to comply with the standards and the requirements of the public sector. You go to the AG report, they will tell you, Department of Health did not comply with this, and therefore we're giving them a negative audit outcome. You go to municipalities, a shocking result. AGSA says last year, all municipalities have staff vacancies of around 38% in the BTO's offices. So already it means the municipalities that are there will have to go outside and hire a consultant to do the work of a civil servant that is meant to do that work. And when the reports come back, all municipalities, I think with the exception of a few provinces, maybe in the Western Cape and some in the Gauteng, have negative audit outcomes. That already tells you that there's the staff competence levels, the people that are in the offices, the warm bodies that are there, are not able to comply with the regulations and the standards. And also, I also lay the blame at the National Treasury. We also give regulations after regulations, week in, week out. But we don't ever give ourselves an opportunity to then say, how far are we at implementing these regulations? Then it then means that there will always be these revolving problems that are taking place. Then when we go to higher education, we find that the education requirements do not address what we expect in the public sector. How many of you have graduated from university and have ever read something on the MFMA in their learning programs, or even in GRAP accounting in their learning programs? All of us have been told about IFRS. And when we come back to the municipality, we are told GRAP. So which means also the education system is also not assisting us to actually address the specific problems. Hence, in my last bullet point, they would say only a limited number of education and training programs are relevant to the public sector. So what does Treasury do in that specific case? Because when Cabinet is looking at audit reports, they say, Treasury, what is your role? Then we developed what is called an integrated capacity building framework. In this integrated capacity building framework, we're looking at 4 pillars. One pillar is looking at the institution. How do we fix the budget and treasury office of a department, or sort of a municipality? How do we fix the CFO's structure of a department to make sure that the institution itself is geared to achieve what is meant to achieve, what it is expected to achieve? Also, the organization itself. What norms and standards do we bring as the Treasury? At the individual level, what training programs do we develop that will assist a young intern coming into a program to make sure that he develops in this pipeline that we're trying to create? And also, the problem that I've raised, I've spoken of 3 people. I've spoken of universities. I've spoken of training providers. I've also spoken of Treasury itself, which means the stakeholders themselves need to meet at some point and also address this specific problem. Now, the teacher in me is trying to say, am I making sense? But then I realize I'm not in class today, so I must then step away from asking that particular question. But I do hope that I'm not speaking French. I'm still speaking English to the people in the podium. Now, in the same period, as we try and assist departments, we've developed what is called minimum competency regulations to assist officials in municipalities to actually achieve what they are set out to do. So we've also zoomed into 6 various people: the accounting officers of the departments and the CEOs of entities, the chief financial officers and the CFOs of entities, senior managers. We've defined the minimum criteria that they must comply with. One of them is your higher education qualifications, wherein we are saying all officials in these departments or in these occupying these positions must meet a specific minimum education level. And also, they must meet a specific work-related experience. So we must not see a Dlanga that just graduates and then gets parachuted into the CFO's office as the chief financial officer of that particular department. There must be some kind of work-related experience to groom this specific person so that he can achieve the specific objectives that is expected to achieve. And also, we've defined the performance agreements that must be signed. We've said if you are employed in a municipality, you must sign a performance agreement. And in signing that performance agreement, you must then do the minimum education qualifications of the relevant unit standards within an 18-month period. If you can't do that, then it means we have to then take the bold step as a council and say, thank you very much, Dlanga. You've tried for 18 months to be in the employ of the department. However, you cannot meet the requirements of this particular job. Unfortunately, councils cannot take that bold step because they will say, we've employed this person for 5 years. But we are saying, give this person 18 months to achieve this very same objective. If it does not have these unit standards, which is the relevant qualifications, sector-specific qualifications, this person must then be able to exit so that we give another person that is able to do the same job an opportunity to take over that particular function. Now, this was in 2007 when we wrote this, and we said, by 2013, all councillors, all CFOs, all senior managers, all middle managers must have met the minimum higher education qualification and must have done the minimum the relevant unit standards. If not, come 1 April 2015, we must say, thank you very much, Mr. Dlanga, you can pack your bags and leave. Unfortunately, it was an election year, so we couldn't do that. So what do we do as government? Unfortunately, I have to put that disclaimer, it was an election year. So we've had to then revise the minimum regulations and issue exemption notices. Then we've said, at least meet 3 of the 4 relevant criteria. You must have a B degree in finance to be a CFO. You must have had 5 years relevant experience as a senior manager to be employed as a CFO. You must have also had at least 3 unit standards that have been achieved. You must have signed a performance agreement that specifies what it is that you're expected to perform in your specific municipality. And if not, you are given an 18-month period to at least do the relevant unit standards within that particular qualification. And we've then said we'll enact a new legislation over an 18-month period, a new legislation between 2015 and 2017 to assist municipalities to comply with the minimum unit standards. Then we said for new appointees, there are certain non-negotiables. You cannot get into the municipal space if you don't have a B degree in finance. You are not going to manage a budget of 500 million and you don't have a B degree. Just you don't know the basics of a debit and a credit. You don't know the basics of what GRAP stands for. So you must be able to spell certain elements so that you are able to say, I am a CFO or I'm a budget manager or I'm a deputy director in finance. Without those 3 negotiables, then it means our municipalities will continue to collapse. And then the blame will always be laid at the treasury. What has treasury done? So we then say, councils, we are giving you the power to appoint. In giving you the power to appoint, make sure that these 3 negotiables are not played around with. Minimum higher education, work experience of 5 years at least at a lower level so that you can progress, and a performance agreement must be signed. And within 18 months, you must then do the specific relevant unit standards. So that's what we did between 2017 and now. That's what we're dealing with at the moment. Now, in my next slide, I'm just depicting the minimum competency levels for senior managers, wherein we've revised the template. So it's saying for a municipality, it must have, if it has a budget of less than 1 billion, the person must have at least a B degree in finance. For a municipality that has a budget above 1 billion, the person must have a B degree, must have a higher education level, an NQF level 8 qualification at least. At least. Just show us that you've been to school. You did not go through school. That's what we're trying to say. And at least show us that you've worked in middle management for 5 years so that you can become a CFO, or so that you can occupy a position senior to yours if you are dealing with a municipality that has a budget of 1 billion. At least 7 years minimum for a municipality that has a budget of over 1 billion. So eThekwini, for example, City of Cape Town, Mangaung, and all the metros. You must show us that at least you have got a B degree, a postgraduate qualification in finance, and also 7 years experience in that specific sector. Then we give you an opportunity to say, you may have met 3 out of 4, do these qualifications during this 18-month period. Go to school, go through strategic leadership, operational financial management, governance, and the works. So that's what we're saying for your bosses. Now I'm coming to you as well and say, what is in it for you? But what I'm trying to paint, the picture I'm trying to paint here is that there's an opportunity for you to dream. We all know that my boss does not have NQF level 8. We all know. We are not going to make jokes about it. We all know. So it's an opportunity for you to dream. It means in the next 5 years, it's not coming back. Ne? Should we have elections next year, he's not coming back. So it's an opportunity for you already. Then we're saying within the new appointees, I think I've covered this as well. Now we're saying we've also partnered with LGCTA on ensuring that there's a relevant training program for the bosses, so that at least there's a specific training program that is geared to assist them on achieving these competencies that we're crying about. I'm going to skip this one so that I can get to the internship program. So we then said, around 2004, when we're seeing all these bleak picture of poor financial governance by municipalities. Then Treasury said, we will take from the resources of the Treasury and create a specific grant called the Financial Management Improvement Grant to assist municipalities with the talent pipeline. Now, this internship program was designed to ensure that we have people that will get into the municipality for a period of a minimum of 24 months or a maximum of 36 months, depending on the municipality. But we will fund it from the coffers of the government. If you look at my second bullet point, this is funded from the Division of Revenue grant, and municipalities must apply to the National Treasury to get interns. As a minimum, if you're a metro, at least, or a district municipality, as a minimum, there must be at least 3 interns. For local municipalities, there must be a minimum of 5 interns for a local municipality to make sure that we create this pool of talent within this specific organization. And also to alleviate the social ills in government, in society, wherein we are giving people money to actually get to experiential learning, and then when they exit, they can be absorbed into the departments. So we've also built in an issue of saying municipal interns must be absorbed by the specific municipalities that is actually employing them. But it must be approved by council, so that when I leave here, no one says, you know, that guy from Treasury said, all of us here must be absorbed. That is subject to approval by council. So we are saying there is that opportunity for absorption. Now, my last point now addresses you. You must not be used as permanent employees. You are there to learn on the works of the organization. Why am I not getting a clap of hands on this one? Do I have to fish for it? You are there to learn. You are not there to fill vacancies. Because I know in municipalities, whenever I go around on these municipal visits, the first lamentation that I get, as I said, I'm a dropout preacher. So the book of Jeremiah is one of my favorite scriptures. The first lamentation that I get is that we are not being used, we are filling vacancies in municipalities. Now, please tell your SDL, your skills development facilitators, your role is to learn on how to work. You are not there to fill permanent jobs. Again, interns must be paid a stipend, not a salary. So your money is not a salary. So I've heard speaker after speaker asking, do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Ne? So that money, it's not a salary. The only person that can have a boyfriend and a girlfriend is the person with a salary. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're over 18. But let it be clear, you are paid a stipend. And the stipend is meant to do 3 things. Buy roll-on, give you money to go to the office, and buy lunch. That's all. Those are the only 3 things that it must do. That is why we've kept it since 2004. Since 2004 until now, we've kept it at 100,000. So that it can also fund your development. There's this internship program that we're talking about, the minimum competency regulations program. You have to attend that. So municipalities are encouraged to create positions within the BTO during your period of internship. And also at the end of the period, you must exit. We must not have a permanent intern. We must create opportunities for other people, colleagues. One of the big fights that I deal with in the office, I get letters of extensions every now and then. My question to myself is, why is this municipality extending this contract? Are they saying the University of Durban Westville or UKZN or the University of Witwatersrand or UCT or any other university does not produce graduates in accounting, that they must also get this very same opportunity? So after your 36 months, you must vacate. But we've said, we've built in a buffer. municipality, create an opportunity for this person. Now, the main issue as well, one of the issues that we should actually be hammering is your employee rotation. Remember, you are there for 36 months. In the BTO's office, there are 9 competencies. 2 of them might be outside of your competence, your internal audit and your enterprise risk management. But the other 7, they are within your competence. Within the finance space, you must move from revenue to expenditure, expenditure to preparation of financial statements, preparation of financial statements to SCM. We're trying to build a well-rounded person so that at the end of the internship program, you are able to apply for a position that says, here I have met these competencies. I know how revenue is collected by a municipality, and I know how revenue is reported by the municipality. I know how annual financial statements are prepared. I studied it at university. I've experienced it in the workplace, and therefore I must be able to apply for that particular position. Again, there's no surety of continuity, but we're just saying in the event that a municipality feels the need to actually extend a contract, although we are not supportive of it, there must be valid reasons. One of them that we allow is if an intern has not completed the minimum competency regulations. That's one of the conditions that we can allow. If you did not do that program, because we've said for you to be employed, you must meet the 3 criteria: education, work experience, and also sign performance agreement, and then you must also have done the minimum competency regulations. So we're saying the only way we are prepared to extend is if you have not met that one aspect. Now, during your internship program, there must be a mentor that is actually there to guide you on what it is that you are expected to do during your internship program. I know you. I don't know who fed you this thing that we are not educated in government. Because when you get to a municipality, you want to be a know-it-all. You want to know it more than your mentor. So in the Bible, there's one of my favorite scriptures. Peter writes this scripture very well. It says, abase yourself under the powerful arm of the Lord, so that at the appropriate time, you may be uplifted. So as an intern, lower yourself under the powerful arm of your mentor. Do not become the mentor of the mentor. That I've experienced, and I don't know where we get this information. Now, during this period, again, there must be ongoing assessment. Every 3 months, because we expect a quarterly report from the Treasury. What competencies have you achieved? We send this report to departments. Every 3 months, interns must have undergone this specific training so that we are able to monitor which intern is going to be extended a contract or is not going to be extended a contract. So now your role is to make some noise to the specific mentor that I have not been trained. I've been sitting in revenue since day 1. It is now day 36. I'm sitting in the same position. I have not learned the other areas within the municipal landscape, within the BTO's office. So that is your responsibility. So make some noise, but make it in a very diplomatic manner that the mentor does not get sick of you or get tired of you. That is my message. They must find creative ways and say, I've been here, I understand revenue, I now need to go to supply chain. But don't go to supply chain with your expensive bags because we're going to be worried now. I'm looking at these bags that are in front of me. The fans and the Ted Bakers. Don't go to supply chain with those because we'll immediately vet you now. Now, I've already covered some of these elements, but I'm just trying to illuminate them just a little bit. So the internship contract ends on the date that is stipulated on the contract date. And also unless when it is extended by National Treasury. So if you sign on the 1st of April or on the 1st of June, your internship program will end on the 31st of July after 24 months, unless your contract is for 36 months or unless you apply for a further extension. Now, if I'll allow that phone to be muted at least. So if your municipality has a desire to extend your contract, the only time we are able to step in is if they are saying we're extending by 12 months and you have not covered these specific areas. So if you have not covered these specific areas, then we'll extend your contract. One of the areas, because our main issue is for you to do the minimum competency regulations. If the issue is that you have not been rotated enough, we are not going to extend that particular contract, because that is between the municipality. But for us, the takeaway is that minimum competency regulations, the one that we have paid for, the unit standards that you must actually undergo. If the municipality wishes to extend the contract by a period less than 12 months, it must pay for your extension, not National Treasury. Because we are saying there's another sister that must come in or brother that must come in, and therefore we have no role to play. So I've already indicated this one as well. So should a municipality wish to terminate an internship contract within the contract period, the municipality is expected to notify Treasury. Again, it's coming from the fact that we are paying for your development for the 36 months that you are there. So should you receive a permanent employment within the municipality, then notify us so that we can take those resources and pay for another person to get into the specific program. I've covered the work rotation plans, and I've also covered the mentoring and performance agreement. But however, what I didn't cover is that on your first month of your internship program, you must do the interactive DVD learning, MFMA interactive learning. This will give you an overview of what you are expected to do. So don't jump in and go and make photocopies in the municipality. They must give you resources, and you must do this interactive DVD learning. That will assist you to understand the challenges within the municipal landscape. It's a certificate program. As you undergo through the program, you will be assessed. It's an online program, and you will get a certificate of competence after that particular program. It speaks to your ability to do the work. Then you must also do the MFMP program, which is what I've called the Minimum Competency Regulations program. Then in terms of our monitoring, I've also zoomed on it. Quarterly, we expect that there's a report that is actually produced by the municipality that speaks to the intern's ability to do the work, to the rotation plans, to the intern's completion of the DVD learning program, and also it speaks to the completion of the minimum competency regulations. It gives us a sense of which unit standards are still to be covered by a specific intern. And also we are trying to monitor the stipends. Are we paying for a person that is actually still in the internship program? Or are we paying for a person that is sitting at home? Now, in terms of statistics, I was also asked to reflect on the growth of the program. I've just taken a snapshot of one financial year. So this is in 2021-2022. We've had 1,200 interns that have actually been employed across all provinces, across all municipalities. Now, the picture that I'm trying to paint with this statistic is that annually, we have an annual intake of 1,200 as a minimum in all municipalities. We are paying a good 3 billion rand towards the internship program annually to make sure that interns to make sure that municipalities get to employ interns in this specific space. So this is just the annual intake. But what has been the future of the program, or the past achievement of the program? We've had interns employed since 2004. My statistics are just giving me a sense that we've had over 3,000 interns employed on a permanent basis. But if you look at the province, I've zoomed into KZN. Those that have reported to us that they have received permanent employment is 251. So if you look around here, we have less than 251 people, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't do maths lit, but I can tell you now that we've got less than 251. So it means there's an opportunity for each one of us to be absorbed by the municipalities that we're employed by. Also, within the departments, There's a future for you. There's Department of Local Government. It is there to actually, there to oversee the implementation of local government regulations. You guys stand a great chance of actually getting employed by those particular departments. I'm not going to talk about the entrepreneurial skills that the other speakers have already mentioned, because that is an innate, it's an ability that is within you. Nothing is stopping you from undertaking that. But from the development that we've actually invested in you, there are opportunities in the 3 spheres of government. We've got 9 provincial treasuries. All 9 provincial treasuries have got a unit called Municipal Finance MFMA program. All those municipal finance programs employ as a minimum 10 people. That means there's an opportunity for each one of us to actually look for employment in those particular departments. I'm going to pause there because I was told that my time is running up. But just as I pause, or as I seek to close off, the challenges that we are experiencing within the National Treasury on this program is that municipalities do not abide by the regulations of the FMG, the Financial Management Grant. So one of them I've already highlighted. We pay people that are meant to be interns, but they are doing the work of a permanent employee. Secondly, we have people that stay on. They are permanent interns, which means, or rather we say perpetual interns. So a person has been an intern since 2017, till today is an intern. So which means the other people, the other colisas that are sitting at university are not getting an opportunity to actually get into this particular program. Thirdly, we don't report on what we've achieved. Then we suddenly get letters of extensions and saying we are requesting this interns contract to be extended. Fourthly, there's inaccurate information that is submitted. So we are doing a verification exercise. We will be coming to the province. I think we'll have a conversation with the provincial treasury, where we are trying to verify the people that are meant to be interns, where we ask for their ID documents and compare against the records. Because AG is saying, why is it that Treasury is paying 3 billion annually on the internship program, but the state of affairs in municipalities is deteriorating? If you look at last year's audit reports alone, one issue that I've picked up is that municipalities are hiring consultants to actually do the work because there are high vacancy rates in the BTO's office. But we've got interns that we're grooming, and we're saying these guys should be the next layer of leadership. Also, there's non-submission of information. So some of us don't know that we have interns in the province because the municipalities do not report this specific information to the provincial treasury and by default to the national treasury. So on that note, colleagues, I have come to the end of my presentation. I would like to say thank you very much. I'll still be staying around in case there's any questions that would have to be asked to me. Thank you.